Is Darth Vader my father?
Rest thy maid. Yes. Rest.
An ending can make or break a story, and for every perfect finale, there are dozens that just fall apart. Many people believe that A New Hope and The Empire Strikes Back are two perfect masterpieces, and might have feel that The Return of the Jedi didn't really finish it off the way that it needed to be finished, but in my opinion, Return of the Jedi is the best of the three. I believe that they incrementally got better and better. Return of the Jedi, for me, is the most complete and satisfying chapter in the original saga. Think about what Return of the Jedi actually accomplishes. From start to finish is a machine built to deliver a payoff. A New Hope is the setup. Empire Strikes Back is the cliffhanger. Return of the Jedi is the resolution. It's really the only film of the three that can stand on its own as a complete story with a beginning, middle, and ending. Every major storyline left hanging gets a powerful conclusion. They kick things off by rescuing Han Solo, a mission that gets the gang back together and shows just how strong their bond has become. And then there's Luke's journey. He doesn't just become a Jedi Knight, he redefines what being a Jedi means. Leia's true heritage is revealed not in some throwaway twist, but in a moment that deepens her connection to the Force and her twin brother Luke. And of course the rebellion. After being beaten and broken, they finally get their victory. But more important than any other film in the trilogy, Return of the Jedi is about closure. It answers the question that ends the conflict that defines the first two movies. This sense of finality and seeing every promise fulfilled is exactly what sets it apart from the other two. The first act in Jabba the Hutt's palace is more world building. This isn't just another cantina scene, it's an extended tour of the criminal underworld of the galaxy. We meet Jabba the Hutt, a slug-like crime lord holding court over the bounty hunters, creeps, and monsters. This whole sequence gives us some of the most iconic images from the entire saga. Leia in her disguise, the Rancor pit, it adds a layer of grim and danger that feels totally distant from the polished evil of the Empire. This is a different kind of villainy, not the cold, calculated malice of the Sith, but the greedy, self-serving corruption that festers in the galaxy's shadows. It's also where Emperor Palpatine steps from behind the curtain. He's no longer just some shadowy hologram, but a physical embodiment of the dark side, cackling, manipulative, terrifyingly powerful. The film populates his world with such a rich variety of aliens, creatures, making the galaxy feel more alive and diverse than ever before. Palpatine represents pure evil, a puppet master using anger and hate as his weapon. Luke, now as a confident Jedi Knight, isn't just fighting his father, he's fighting for the temptation to become him. And Vader is a man torn apart, caught between his loyalty to his master and his newfound love for his illegitimate son. The single most powerful moment during this entire sequence is after Luke gives into his rage and slices off his father's hand. He looks at his own mechanical hand and sees a dark destiny staring back at him. He has a realization, and in that moment he makes a choice. He throws the lightsaber away and declares,
I am a Jedi, like my father before me.
In this rejection of the dark side, a proclamation was made that he would rather die as himself than win by becoming a monster. This isn't surrender, it's a victory of compassion over rage. It's what sets him apart as the terrible person that Anakin Skywalker was. Just like in my episode 3 video, where Anakin failed and was weak and just gave in and made bad choices, Luke stands up tall and makes good choices. That's what separates the two. Luke is determined not to be the drunken, abusive deadbeat that his non-present father was. There's a reason why Anakin Skywalker lost that custody battle in court. But now this brings us back to Darth Vader. A common complaint in Return of the Jedi is it weakens Vader, stripping him of the terrifying menace that he had in other two films. Well, at least the second film, episode 5, because episode 4, they were talking back to Vader, like they didn't even respect this man.
Don't try to frighten us with your sorcerer's ways, Lord Vader. Your sad devotion to that ancient religion has not helped you conjure up the stolen data tapes.
He was, like I said, he was basically on a leash, and he was a little too sassy. So, more so episode 5. For 2 movies, he was being portrayed as an unstoppable symbol of evil. And Return of the Jedi's boldest move was to insist that there was still a man, Anakin Skywalker, trapped under all that armor. But you know what? The more I think about it, man, Vader was way too sassy in A New Hope. He was somewhat what he was supposed to be in Empire Strikes Back, and then they just kind of softened him up in Return of the Jedi. So, like, the whole Vader lore is just kind of just out the window. But Luke's unwavering faith that there's still good in his father was the key to the whole film. He feels the conflict within Vader and simply refuses to give up on him. This softening of Vader isn't just the weakening of his character, it's character assassination, but they play it off as pulling out the humanity within the character. Either way, the true climax of the original trilogy isn't just an explosion, it's a choice. As Palpatine tortures Luke with the Force lightning, Vader looks at his master and then his son, and he chooses his illegitimate son. That was the first time a drunken, abusive deadbeat stepped up to the plate. Bravo. But it's one of the most iconic redemption arcs seen on the big screen. The monster sacrifices himself to save the hero. That's not something you see very often. And in that moment, he fulfills his destiny as a chosen one by destroying the Sith and bringing balance back to the Force. Seeing Anakin Skywalker's face for the first time, and only time in the original trilogy, is an emotional moment. And of course, course, we can't talk about Return of the Jedi without talking about the Ewoks. For a lot of people, this symbolized the film's biggest flaw because they were catering to the kids with cuddly species and undermining the seriousness of the final battle. But it's supposed to be enjoyed by all audiences, so having characters like the Ewoks or Baby Grogu, those type of characters is what really brings the heart to the film. And of course, the biggest elephant in the room in the entire original trilogy is George insisting on including incest. I don't know why he decided to finally make them brother and sister after purposely making a choice in episode 4 and 5 of they were just kind of feeling each other out, but then to know that you did that in the first 2 films and then finally decide, you know what, let's just make them brother and sister, makes the whole thing even nastier, honestly. I mean, he made a decision to do this,
Leia is my sister.
then this.
My sister has it. Yes. It's you, Leia.
I know. I've always known.
And finally, this.
You love him.
Yes. Oh, it's not like that at all. He's my brother.
I mean, there's no defending that. Nobody in their right mind can defend that, but that could be a whole video in itself. But Return of the Jedi is without a doubt the best film in the original trilogy. A New Hope, like I said, is just cheesy. The fighting scenes is terrible. It's a boring watch. And then The Empire Strikes Back, it does a tone shift and it does better with the pacing of the film, and it was a lot more enjoyable. Slightly better, I guess. Not a lot more enjoyable, but slightly more enjoyable. Although still not very great. But Return of the Jedi is where they really pull everything together. The pacing was good. The fight scenes improved. There was actually a conclusion to the character arcs and storylines. There was so many more characters involved. It was just a much better experience, and it's the best of the original trilogy. But anyways, that's what I think. Now I want to hear what you think. Let me know down in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more.